For being with him for so many years, it's amazing to see a kid from a man to a grown man.
As they were going to announce this fight initially, DV allegations dropped. Tank was arrested and it was once again put in doubt.
Before the fight was cancelled on Monday after a civil lawsuit filed by ex-girlfriend Courtney Rozelle accused Davis of battery and aggravated battery.
Calvin Ford breaks down in tears during a live moment after learning about Gervonta Davis's arrest as he looks back on their long journey together from the streets to World Championship success, explaining that he didn't just train Tank but watched him grow into a man, with his voice shaking as he admits how painful it is to see everything they built feel like it's falling apart. Realizing that what once seemed like an unstoppable path has now come to a heartbreaking.
Man, it's crazy. That's why I said, yo, you can't write this, man. You cannot write this. My experience being gone and all the stuff that I went through preparing me for where I'm at today. You know, man, Tank is older. He had the lessons, getting his lessons of what he got to do to take us the rest of the way. And this is his take us the rest of the way.
Gervonta Davis has been surrounded by controversy several times during his career, with recent legal issues drawing major attention when the mother of his children accused him of mistreatment earlier this year before the case was eventually dropped. Followed shortly by a separate lawsuit from another woman that added more pressure and public focus on his life, and while the first situation was dismissed, these back-to-back issues still affected his image and sparked widespread discussion, showing how personal problems can quickly spill into the public eye for high-profile athletes like Davis. Because no matter how successful someone is inside the ring, that success does not protect them from criticism, legal trouble, or intense media coverage. And in boxing, fighters are judged not only by their performances, but also by how they conduct themselves outside the sport, making every move open to scrutiny. Which proves that accomplishments alone cannot shield an athlete from the consequences that come with public exposure and personal chill.
Rematch never happened. The Paul camps still thought Tank is a big enough name regardless of his previous result to go ahead with this bout. But just as they were going to announce this fight initially, DV allegations dropped. Tank was arrested and it was once again put in doubt. Then the charges were dropped. A week later, they announced the event. So that kind of brings us to today. This event hasn't been smooth sailing so far, and was almost destined that there would end up being a few more bumps in the road before we actually saw the two facing off. And about as big of a bump as you could really get has now hit the promotion. A civil suit has been filed against Tank, in which his ex-girlfriend accuses him of aggravated battery, false imprisonment, kidnapping, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. While it was also reported by ESPN that a report has been filed additionally with the Miami Gardens Police Department last Tuesday. However, as I'm recording this, there's yet to be any criminal charges. Now, these alleged incidents happened last month, which was after the announcement of the fight. You would think if you're Tank on the verge of the biggest payday he's ever gotten, he would be doing anything to stay out of trouble, yet he continues to find himself in negative situations again and again. But in saying all of this, everything at the moment is very much alleged, and I'm not really here to talk about the validity of these claims. What I am here to talk about though is the impact this might have on the boxing event in a couple weeks time. Now, Tank vs Paul, love or hate the idea of it, was definitely one of the most viewed fights of the year. Although there are rumors of there being poor ticket sales, the at-home audience...
Roy Jones Jr. said that Gervonta Davis has been dealing with problems for a while, and that the latest lawsuit has only added more weight to what he is already carrying, explaining that these issues coming at the same time as his planned fight with Jake Paul created an extremely stressful moment in his career. And while Jones noted that many in boxing were already aware of Davis's past troubles, the situation is still serious and damaging, adding that the cancellation of the fight made things even harder by taking away a major opportunity and forcing Davis to face public criticism and personal frustration.
The call didn't work out. Just what were your thoughts on that whole thing?
Man, I really don't want to even have much to say about that because everybody will take it the bad way. But all I'm gonna say is this: Jake Paul knew what it was when he first signed the fight. This ain't the first time he had battery against a woman. You knew what it was when you first signed the fight. So don't get mad and cuss him out and talk bad about him now. You know what it was when you signed up for it. Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Let's not do that. Nobody talk. I don't talk bad about him either, but don't do the dude like that. No, the dude having a hard time in his life right now. Don't just do him like that. You know what I mean? Because you knew exactly what he was when you signed him to fight the first time. All I gotta say.
Tank's team has kind of been bringing that, like, talking about just some of Jake's past, and more kind of said that Jake said he's actually afraid to fight Tank. I mean, do you think it leaned a little more on that side, and they're just selling it the other way?
I already know what it is. Like I said, I already know. I'll get into it, but we all know when young guys go through issues. That's just...
Jake Paul shared his view on the situation involving Gervonta Davis, saying that Davis was sober and fully aware of what he was doing at the time, and that there was no attempt to shift blame by claiming intoxication, with Paul presenting his own understanding of the incident while suggesting Davis should be held accountable and also hinting at the pressure Davis deals with behind the scenes. And by speaking openly, Paul gave fans a glimpse into what he believes was Davis's mindset, although his comments are based on personal opinion and not confirmed by any legal record, showing how remarks like these can quickly fuel discussion and speculation, and highlighting how fighters at Davis's level face constant scrutiny where every moment is examined, reinforcing the ongoing struggle between personal issues and public perception in professional.
Was on Aiden Carr, Aiden Ross, and he shared a story about Jake Paul, about Gervonta, and he said, look, Aiden, it was 4:15 in the morning. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. Gervonta Davis was sober. He got sober into a car and drove out there at that hour to do this. This guy is extra bad. Let me repeat that. Let me repeat that. Jake Paul said that Gervonta Davis left his house sober and went to Tootsie's nightclub sober. I just want you to put your common sense hat on. How in the world would he know that? Does Jake Paul talk to Gervonta Davis? Did Gervonta Davis tell Jake Paul I was sober when I left the house? Did Jake Paul have a camera in Gervonta Davis's car? Did he have a breathalyzer in Gervonta Davis's car? Did Jake Paul get toxicology reports from 3 days ago from Gervonta Davis? I am just curious as to how in the world Jake could possibly know that Gervonta Davis was sober. Let me tell you for sure, I will have a drink now and then. If I take a couple shots of vodka and I walk out the house, I'm a little buzzed. Sometimes my wife doesn't even know. How do you know, Jake? The answer is you do not. You were just trying to add something to the story to make Gervonta look worse. It wasn't enough that Gervonta Davis was...
Coach Kenny shared a deeper view on Gervonta Davis's career, explaining that reaching the top of boxing always brings heavy pressure and constant scrutiny both in and out of the ring. And he made it clear that these struggles are not signs of failure, but a normal part of life for elite fighters, stressing that short-term setbacks like legal issues or public controversy do not erase the years of hard training, discipline, and sacrifice Davis has put in, pointing out that the road to greatness is never smooth and is shaped by wins as well as challenges. And while adversity can slow momentum or affect public image, it does not take away from the skill and effort that built Davis's success, showing that perseverance, focus, and a strong work ethic remain at the core of his journey no matter what obstacles he faces.
This hype that becomes a love and hate with this sport, you know, when you're in it, right?
I think fighters have always loved this sport itself. It's the bullshit that comes with it behind the scenes, you know, dishonesty and shit like that. This should get on my nerve.
Yeah.
Not saying that's what Tank's situation is, just the sport period. I'm speaking on the sport, man. If people would be honest and jokers really take fights like they said they would, but behind the scene they not taking the fight, but on social media they won't take the fight. It's a bunch of bullshit, man. You know?
Mm-hmm.
That's the shit that I don't like about the sport. And the promoters need to come together, man, and let the guys fight. Problem is, you need a fighter to carry each promotional company. The promotional company don't want to put their man in there with no real fighters because their company gonna flop. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they won't let. That's why the big fights ain't happening. If fighters can take a loss and still keep on taking that, all this new generation shit is crazy. I've seen guys with 10 losses win world.
Following the legal complications, Jake Paul officially canceled the exhibition fight with Davis, explaining in his letter that Davis seemed uninterested, frustrated, and unfocused, with behavior that included visible outbursts and little involvement in the preparation process. And this decision showed how the lawsuit directly affected Davis's professional commitments, serving as a clear example of how personal issues can spill into a fighter's career. As observers noted that high-profile athletes must carefully balance their private lives with their responsibilities because distractions at that level can quickly turn into missed opportunities. Interview 7.
You know, I don't know if it's true what they said. I just know that they were saying he was showing up late to promo shoots and he was, you know, just being a diva, just being a difficult person to work with. And the thing I always tell anybody, and I don't care what age you are, whenever you're working with somebody, when you're on a set, you know, when you're in a corporation, whatever it is, the thing that will keep money in your pocket and always keep you working is when those individuals say that person is a pleasure to work with. When they say you're a pleasure to work with, I promise you, you will always get phone calls. That's why I walk in the room. It's just my nature anyway, because, you know, just the way my anxiety's set up, I need to know who's who. So I speak to everybody. I look in everybody's eyes. I'm really observing to make sure I don't see anything bulging in any places where there might be pistols or anything else. But I'm saying hi to everyone. I speak to everybody in the room. I speak to everybody when I leave. I'm polite because I used to sell crack and work at Taco Bell, and I understand how much of a blessing it is to be in these positions. There's no way that I'm going to be, you know, getting tens of millions of dollars like Gervonta Davis is and be acting like a diva. And I'm not saying he was, I'm just saying if the rumors are true. You know what I mean? If the rumors are true, because that's what I was told. And you know, I heard they were just looking for a reason to part ways. So
I mean, that's a good reason. I think he has a good point too. It's just like, you know, he built his platform a lot, or Jake, on female fighters.
Absolutely.
So maybe he should support Gervonta because he supports the beating of women.
Yeah, but not by other genders.
Also, I got it.
And also, too, maybe Tank isn't used to
Nobody has paid people more money to beat women